In the sacred town of Puri, you'll find temples with deities of stone and metal. But there's one presence that's truly unique. Lord Jagannath, the Lord of the universe, doesn't reside in permanent stone, but in wood. And today, we're going to explore the profound philosophy behind this choice.
It's a question that really makes you think, doesn't it? It takes us away from our usual ideas of what divinity looks like. Why would a supreme being choose a form that's, well, organic, perishable, and always changing? The answer isn't just in history, but in a very deep spiritual symbolism.
So you see this fundamental contrast right away. On one side, you have deities made from stone or metal, materials that really speak to permanence, to something that's unchanging. But then you have Lord Jagannath, carved from wood, a living material. This choice points to a completely different way of understanding the divine, one that's alive, accessible, and deeply tied to the natural cycles of life itself. To really get to the heart of why we need to look at a central concept in the Jagannath tradition, it's kind of the key that unlocks this entire philosophy, and that's the meaning of Daru Brahma. The sacred Neem wood that's used for the idol is itself called Daru Brahma. If you break it down, Daru just means wood, and Brahma is the ultimate, all-pervading reality of the universe. So, Daru Brahma is the supreme Brahman, the divine consciousness itself, choosing to manifest inside a living, wooden form. Unlike cold, unmoving stone, wood is a breathing material. It was once part of a living tree. And this choice tells us that Lord Jagannath isn't some distant, static statue. He's a living, dynamic presence, a god who is in tune with the world and all its cycles.
The fact that wood is perishable, that carries a profound teaching with it. It's a reflection of the impermanence of the physical body. Just as wood decays over time, so does our physical form. It's this constant, gentle reminder of the transient nature of everything material. And this is where we find this beautiful paradox. While the wooden body is temporary, the divine essence inside it, the spirit they call the Brahma Padartha, that's eternal. This substance is considered the very soul of the deity. It's a complete mystery. It's unseen, it's untouched, but it's the life force that continues on. The form may change, but the consciousness, that remains.
Now, this philosophy isn't just some abstract idea. It's actually brought to life through a very sacred and powerful ritual, one that makes this concept of renewal very, very real.
Every 12 to 19 years or so, this rare event called Nabakalebara happens. The name literally just means new body. It's this incredibly complex series of rituals where the old wooden forms of the deities are laid to rest and new ones are carved to take their place. It's a symbol of a divine cycle of death and rebirth. The whole process is meticulous. It all starts with a divine search for specific sacred neem trees, ones that bear certain spiritual marks. Once the wood is found and prepared, the new idols are carved in total secret. But the most sacred moment, that's the transfer of the Brahma Padartha, the life essence. A blindfolded senior priest with his hands wrapped in cloth moves this eternal substance from the heart of the old forms to the new. It's understood as a transfer of consciousness, not a physical act, like the soul's journey into a new vessel. And finally, the old idols are buried, returning to the very earth they came from.
And the selection of this wood isn't random at all. It follows divine instruction. Each tree has to have specific signs. For Lord Jagannath, for example, the neem tree has to have dark bark and be naturally marked with the symbols of a conch and a disc. It needs to be near a cremation ground and have a snake hole at its roots. And there are similar divine conditions for the trees for Balabhadra, Subhadra, and Sudarshan. It ensures the chosen wood is already filled with sacred energy.
So if we look beyond the material and the ritual, the wooden form of Jagannath actually points to one of the highest philosophical ideas in Indian thought, this relationship between the physical and the metaphysical, between form and the formless.
To help us explore this, we can turn to the work of a philosopher named G.C. Nayak. He gives us a really powerful way to understand the significance of Jagannath's unique appearance.
Jagannath's form is described as an attempt to give a shape to a reality that is, at the same time, saguna, meaning with attributes or with form, and nirguna, meaning without attributes or formless. He is a physical manifestation of an ultimate reality that is simply beyond all physical description.
So that raises a pretty profound question, right? How can a physical object, something you can see,
actually represent, that which is beyond all sight and conception? Well, the answer seems to lie in the very abstract nature of the idol's features.
The unique form of the deities is just so deeply symbolic. You see those large round eyes with no eyelids? They suggest a constant universal gaze, always watching over all of creation. And the lack of defined hands or feet, that signifies a being who doesn't need physical limbs to act or move. It represents a reality that's beyond the limits of the material world and beyond our human ideas of perfection.
Okay, so when we bring all of these ideas together, the living wood, the cycle of rebirth, and this form that expresses the formless, a really complete picture starts to emerge.
What this all means is that the worship of a wooden deity has these profound implications. It teaches that divinity isn't separate from the world, but is a part of its natural cycles. It shows us that the sacred can be found in the simplicity of nature, not just in permanent man-made things. And maybe most importantly, it presents a God who isn't some distant, unchanging figure, but a living, breathing presence that changes and renews itself right along with the world. Ultimately, the wooden form of Lord Jagannath is a spiritual declaration. It's a philosophy that embraces change and impermanence and renewal as fundamental parts of the divine. It gives us a God who isn't fixed and remote, but one who truly lives among us, a divinity not set in stone, but alive in the flow of time.